Hey, it's Mike Hambright with FlipNerd.com. Welcome back for another exciting VIP interview show. Today I have with me Jon Iannotti, who is a real estate investor. He's worked for several gurus, and he's now teaching his own program. We're going to talk about Jon's story of starting from someone that had never done it, to doing it, to teaching others how to do it, behind somebody else, to doing it himself. So it's going to be an interesting conversation today. We're excited to have Jon on the show. Before we get started, though, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsor. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Jon, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad you're on. So, like a lot of guests that we have on, you were a referral from a previous guest that we had, so we didn't know each other previously, but when I started to kind of hear about your story and research it a bit, I thought it was just a fascinating story to share with our listeners, and I think a lot of folks will be attracted to your whole story. It's very interesting.
I tell people, just wait for the movie.
There you go. All right. Well, so I know, why don't you talk about, what I was hoping to talk about is just kind of your story about how you've evolved from, not having experience to having experience in doing it to teaching lots of others in one way or another. So kind of talk a little bit about, let's take it from the top. Let's talk about, how you got started in real estate investing at all.
Oh my. Well, many lives ago, I was started out when I was very young as a police officer. I always wanted to be a policeman, lived it, ate it, drank it, slept it. It was back before there was even police shows on TV. I mean, that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And started out, did that for about 10 years, had a young family, realized that, I wasn't able to make it on about $11,000 a year. So I started looking for something. And, real estate seemed like something I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure. And I actually did a deal way back when. I think it was 1978 was my first deal. And didn't have any training, just did the deal. It was a sandwich lease option, and today we would call it a sandwich lease option. Back then I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it. And made about $14,000 on that deal. And it was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
More than your annual income, yeah.
Yeah. So I of course, life happened, and I shelved it, and I didn't do anything with it for about 10 years. Mm. Well, then I started thinking, I need to do something different here. So I left police work, and I went into the steel mill in Western PA, and spent 24 years in the steel mill.
Wow.
I did not like the work at all. I didn't like the environment. I hated going to work every single day. The only thing I liked were the people I worked with. And, one day I was sitting there watching TV with my wife, and of course up pops this infomercial about real estate investing. So we watched it, and she says, why don't you order it? And I said, nah, forget it. So she picked up the phone and she ordered it. Well, we listened to those CDs and tapes and stuff, and we just dug right into it. We head first. Well, we didn't do anything for like 13 months with this program. It wasn't that good of a program. So we heard about a RIA club in Pittsburgh. So we said, well, let's go down and see what they have to do. So we went down there, got into with some of those guys and started hearing what they were talking about and stuff. And I was like, hey, this is what we want. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you need to go next week over to this big convention in Ohio. And I said, okay. So we went over there. They had 11 national speakers, and I came home with 11 programs.
Wow.
I bought everything that they had to sell. We we listened and listened and listened, and a couple of the guys, their programs actually resonated really good with us. So we said, well, let's do it their way and see what happens, and started making money. And in fact, in a town of about 19,000 people, our first year of doing it full time, we did over $1 million. So it was pretty nice. I was able to leave the mill. And about 3 months later, my wife left her job of 24 years, and because she got tired of seeing me still in bed when she was going to work. so we both have been doing it full time now since about let's see, I think that was 2003. I left the mill, and since then we're closing in on 1,800 deals. No, I'm saying 1,800 creatively without using our own money.
That's great.
So that is very good statistic that I like to give people.
So John, talk a little bit about your motivation to change there, because there's so many people that go to events like that and leave, racking up their credit card bill, buying something that they don't even really know what they're getting, and they ran to the back of the room, charged their card, and never do anything with it.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of it ends up on the closet shelf, never opened up, and it's a shame because there's good stuff out there.
Yeah.
If you just listen to it and implement it, it's great information. You just have to implement.
Yeah. You've got to execute.
That's it. That's one of the, as we teach students, mentoring students, one of the hardest things we can have them to do is pull the trigger. Right. And actually get out there and talk to a seller and get the contract and talk to a buyer. It's hard to get them to do it, but once they do it and they see, wow, that wasn't that hard, that was pretty easy, and I made a lot of money, because we're not playing with penny candy here.
Right.
We're playing with houses, and houses can be very expensive. You can play with the junk, you can play with the multi-million-dollar stuff, and everything in between. It's a beautiful business.
Yeah. So what do you think made you different to really execute? Was it that's just how you are, or was it wanting to change from working in a steel mill? And
for me, it was
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for me, it was a desire to get out of there. I wanted out of that environment, and I wanted to create a monster, and I did. I mean, we were going like gangbusters until of course, the crash of the stock market, and when that all happened, I call that the short sale era. Mm-hmm. When the short sale era came about, we had to switch gears. Now, I had been doing short sales for probably 10 years, back before people knew you could put those two words together.
Right.
And it actually meant something. And it was a pain. I hated short sales. But what we did whenever the short sale era came about was we created a system to where other people would do the work, and we would just sit back and wait for the approvals from the banks. And we did tons and tons of short sales. In fact, there wasn't a given time where we had at least 140, 150 short sales working at any given time.
Right.
And it worked great for a while, for a number of years. Then we came out of the short sale era, and I call it, then we moved into the ACTS era. The ACTS era, and that's a system that I created that the acronym stands for Assigning Contract Terms System. And with ACTS, we were able to still talk to the sellers, get discounts, get them to sign creative terms on the front end of the deal, and we were doing that for about 2.5 years before a friend of mine, Ron LeGrand, listened to me. And the light bulb finally came on for him, and he says, "You're going to create this program. You're going to get out there. You're going to sell it. You're going to travel the country. You're going to do this." And I said, "No, I said, I don't want to do that. You do it." So he took the program, and we gave it to him. He ran with it, and he created the ACT system that's out there today. And he's done a wonderful job with it. He's a great friend, great mentor of ours.
Yeah.
Then came another switch in the marketplace, and it became more of a retail market, probably about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had to do something again because we weren't able to get that big discount. We weren't able to get the creative terms on the front end of the deal. So I created what I call React. And React is reverse engineered assigning contract terms. And React is our new baby that we're out there selling right now. And the students are loving it. They're doing deals like crazy. In fact, I got one guy, he does 2 to 4 of these a week with an average payout of $12,000.
Wow.
So he's doing pretty good with no money out of pocket. So it's a great technique. What I like to do is I like to control everything. I don't really need to own it all. I just need to control it. And if I can control it, I can make money with it. And that's what I'm teaching everybody how to do.
Yeah. So I would like to learn a little bit more about the things you're doing now. And I know you have a new RIA club and stuff to discuss. So talk a little bit about just the evolution of some people that are real estate investors that become good at training and teaching others. In some ways, there's a negative stigma with that. It's like some people think, well, this guy is just a guru now and he doesn't do it anymore. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying people think that about me, whatever. But just talk about, the reality is everybody got in this business to make money. It's never really about the real estate usually. That's a tool. And some of the folks that are the best develop systems that can then benefit others. And I know that you, like me, truly enjoy teaching other people. But kind of talk about the personality it takes to do that and maybe why you do it.
Well, you've got 2 businesses there. You've got your real estate business and you've got your information marketing business.
Right.
We've been mentoring students since about 2003. We had a huge group up in Western Pennsylvania, and in fact, some of those students are still with us. Some of them don't leave, and we've got some. Of course, in November last year, we opened up our Florida Gulf Coast RIA down here in southwestern Florida, and now we have what we call a property protege group. And our property protege group is we bring people in from the RIA who we work with very closely. We show them how to do the deals, tell them what's working today, how to make it happen, and then we profit share on the profits. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way of getting them involved. I mean, we've got a waiting list of people that want in. We're doing deals like crazy. It's just a wonderful idea. You've got to have a servant's heart to teach. There's guys out there that that's all they do is they sell the product and they do it, make the money that way. We could have been out on the circuit ages ago. In fact, the gurus wanted us out there back around 2002, 2003, and we said, nah, that's not us. We want to show people how to take the information and actually use it and become successful. That's what we want to do. So that's why we went into the mentoring instead and teaching people. Of course, with React now, they have to have the technique. They got to have the program in order to know what's working today. Because that's one thing about us. We're constantly doing business, doing deals. Every single day we're out on the street doing deals and we're knowing what's working, what isn't working, and we tweak our systems and bring it back to the students and show them what's working, what isn't working, and make them successful.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the importance of, because you've lived through multiple kind of phases of the market, different cycles. So talk a little bit about just how, to be successful as a real estate investor, you need to evolve and always know what you always kind of need to be looking around the corner, right, to see what's coming, to be able to truly run a business. So there's as I like to say, there's people that have built themselves a job or a hobby, and then there's the people that truly turn it into a business where you need to effectively, the market is going to change. You need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, and it's always changing, always evolving. It's cyclical, and what worked 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it works today, but not as good as something like React is. And what I've come up with React is it's not only going to work in a up market, but it'll work in a down market, a sideways market. This is a technique. It's going to work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
along with all the other techniques that we've learned. The subject twos, the buy, fix, flips, the lease options. Everything that we know works. It's just that we have to make it work to what's working today, and that's what we've done, and we always try to keep on the cutting edge of what's going on in the market, because we're doing the deals too. It's not like we're because we got to know what's working for our business so that we can tell other people what works for their business.
Yeah. So I know you provided a lot of materials and did some training to the gurus to help them improve their products, or maybe they were just completely selling your product, and then you decided to go out on your own and do it yourself. Talk a little bit about kind of that period of your life where you're kind of an underling, or somebody's using your product but you're not getting credit for it, or just kind of it is what it is, but it got you here today. But just talk a little bit about that transition from being an investor yourself to actually providing great products and systems for other people.
I think what happened was we were starting to become successful and doing a lot of deals. And, when you're at the events, they're always trying to pull somebody up who's being successful at that time. And we were constantly being pulled up on stage because we were successful. And we caught their eye and their ear, and they started listening. And then they started asking, well, what do you think of this? Well, how about that? And then they'd take our ideas and they'd run with them. And, it's a form of flattery, but again, it's also, I'm still behind the curtain, and not that I want to be out front. I don't want to be, and you'll see whenever we're out, if you come to an event of ours, that I'm not going to be in a suit and tie like these guys, and what you see me in right now is what you're going to see me in. I usually have my polo shirt on with my We Buy Houses on it. I mean, this is me. This is how I do business. This is what you're going to see. You're not going to see a suit and tie kind of guy. It's just not happening.
Right.
But that's pretty much how it evolved. Us getting to where we are, and then it got to just recently, where we said, what, it's time to stand on our own and go out and tell the masses what is working today, because a lot of the stuff that's being taught today, it works, but it's not as good as what we're teaching. So that's not a sales pitch. I mean, if somebody wants to buy something, great. If not, that's fine. It's the truth, and that's what we try and teach.
Yeah, you've always got to be suspicious of a 4 or 5 year old program that's still being hawked and hasn't changed. I mean, it's just not reality because the market's changed.
That's it. And something I do that probably I don't think anybody does is that we give our people that buy our course an online link to our resources, and that's lifetime. And if something changes, we put it in there. So they don't have to pay for that, any extra. It's in there. They get it. It's, we're if you buy into the system, you're in. I don't need to sell you anything else, because I'm not planning on coming out with anything else. I'm just going to keep building the one we have and give it to everybody.
Right. Well, talk a little bit about, there's always the wanting to work with other people business side of it, right? You have an opportunity to teach what you know and make money doing it, which nobody can really fault you for that. Then there's the truly, back to the comment you made about having a servant's heart. I make money by mentoring other people, which is great. I have an opportunity cost of my time. That's why that's important. But I get a lot of joy over the success of other people, even though I can only take a less than 1% of the credibility for sharing my information. They're the ones that went out and executed it, which is the hardest part. But just talk a little bit about that side of the business, or that side of of the enjoyment you get out of doing what you do.
Well, we over the years, like I said, we started about 2003, I think it was, mentoring students. We've had hundreds of students, and we do more of a one-on-one kind of a mentoring, and it is so rewarding whenever they listen, and you see even over the phone, you can see the light bulb come on.
Yeah.
And when that light bulb comes on and they actually go do it and they get a check, it is so rewarding. It's just like your child, going out there and doing something good, with baseball or dance or whatever, and you just start beaming, with pride, and that's where we are. We've done very well, and we give back a lot, and a lot of the give back are through our mentoring. Now, yeah, are we charging for the mentoring? Yes. Because there are costs of doing things. However, we're not charging an arm and a leg for our mentoring, and we give back, and they get a lot out of it. And they if they just listen and implement, they'll make money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, John, I ask a lot of guests this just because I always like to get different perspectives, and I know it's very different in the markets where you operate at. But what do you see happening over the next couple of years in terms of, it's a really interesting. It feels like we're in the eye of a storm. Maybe interest rates might go up, the dollar could collapse. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. Right. Talk a little bit about you've got more experience than me. Talk a little bit about where you feel like we're at right now and what's going to happen over the next couple of years, or some of the things that could happen.
Well, I think a lot of the things that have happened over the last eight years or 10 years are going to come back full circle again. Because we do have a heck of a stealth inventory out there for the foreclosures that they have not even started foreclosing on yet. So it's probably even bigger than what's already been through the system. So it's going to come through. We still have the commercial end of it that hasn't happened yet. That's coming. That's probably going to hit first. So I think you're going to see a lot of the same things that have happened in the past 8 to 10 years start happening again. And so we're going to go back into a short sale era again. We're going to go back into an axe era, and then we're going to get the react's going to work the whole time during that. So I think if everybody can get those techniques under their belt and concentrate on those are going to be the ones that are going to be the big ones within the next few years, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and not to be a sales pitch, I'm not even familiar with your programs. But can you give like a high level summary of Axe and Reaxe, the programs that you've created?
Well, again, Axe is where we negotiate with the seller on the front end of the deal to get creative terms or discounted price, and then we go out and either keep that and sandwich it out to somebody, or we just lease option it and step out and take an assignment fee. Okay. React is a little different, because what we had to do was, when we moved from the Axe era to the React era, we found that the sellers were more of a retail kind of a seller. They wanted full retail or more, and they want cash. Well, we're trained as investors. If you can't get 65 cents on the dollar or creative terms, you walk out the door.
Right.
Well, why? That seller still wants to sell his house, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we created React, where we can get control of the property and submit it to our funding sources, which is what I call my buyers, because, let's face it, anybody who brings money to the table to fund my deal is my funder. And it's a seller-friendly term that I like to use with sellers. Then we find out what our funder is willing to pay or what they're willing to do as far as terms, go back to our seller, renegotiate, and hopefully make it a win-win-win for everybody. And if we can do that, everybody wins and we make money.
Yeah, and are they typically getting? They're probably not typically getting traditional financing, I would assume.
No, because that's the problem. That's why it works so well, is because the traditional financing today is pretty much dried up. I mean, even if you can walk on water, I don't know if you can get a loan today. I mean, it's just tough, and it just it's getting, they're not loosening up. They need to loosen up. Now a few years ago we knew they needed to tighten up, but but they put a noose around everybody's neck is what they did. And then
Yeah.
through the course of all that, they've screwed up everybody's credit. So now nobody falls within the square that you need to in order to get a loan.
Right.
So that's why what we're doing is we're showing the seller an alternative to how they can sell their property, still keep the asset, and get their debt relief or get the money that they want, and still make a good deal for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Great. Well, John, one last thing I want to talk about is just tell us a little bit about your RIA club. I mean, like I said, we're a big fan of RIA clubs and understand the importance of them all across the country. And so tell us a little bit about your club.
Awesome. Yeah, last November, we, after about 10 years of wanting to do it, we finally, had a few extra minutes, so we decided to go ahead and create the RIA. And what my wife and I did was we brought in 3 other friends of ours who were also speakers and mentors, and we created the Florida Gulf Coast Real Estate Investor Alliance, and it's fgcria.com. And we meet the first Tuesday of every month down in Bonita Springs, Florida, and the club is growing very well. We're very happy with the way it's taking off. We base the club on teaching. We want to teach people how to go out and make money. Not we don't stress a lot of speakers that come in and sell, although we do have speakers that sell. But the club is more us teaching the membership. It's not statistics and what's happened in the past and what might be going on. It's what's happening today.
Yeah.
What's working today, what's going on today, where we see the local market going. And we're actually going to take it nationwide. We're going to take it virtual as well. We're also, we have a group called the Property Protege Group where we partner up with the members that join that and show them how to do their deals from the leads that they bring in. And then we profit share the profits from the deals. We're going to take that nationwide, the Property Protege Group. We're going to take the mentoring. We haven't started the mentoring, but we're going to do the mentoring. Group mentoring is what we're going to do, and take that virtual and teach it across the country as well. So we're very excited about it. It's a wonderful group. If anybody happens to be in Southwest Florida on the first Tuesday of every month, check us out. You can come down for free for a meeting, and I think you'll be very impressed with the information that you leave with.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. We talked about a lot of different links here today, or websites. So we'll make sure to get all those from you, John, and we'll put them down below the video here for folks to learn more about each of those things. But definitely appreciate you sharing your story with us today.
Hey, it was a pleasure being here. I love what you're doing, and if we can be of any help in the future, please let us know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, John, thanks again for your time. Hope you have a great day.
You too, Mike. Take care.
All right. Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.